friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my September wrap up. So in the month of September I read 6 books, coming to a total of 3,186 pages, so not quite as much as I have been reading previously, but some of them were quite long. So the breakdown is 5 fantasy books and 1 horror book. 4 of the books were adult and 2 were YA. And then my breakdown of star ratings, basically I started the month off really well and then it just went downhill. So I have 1 5-star, 1 4-star, 1 3.5 star, 1 3-star and 2 2-stars. So I didn't have the best reading month in terms of quality, unfortunately. It felt like I was just on this downward train that wasn't getting any better, and that's probably why I read less as well, because everything just seemed to get worse and worse and worse. So I'm just going to pick them at random so that we're not on this downward train. So at the top of the pile we have Dark Triumph by Robin the Feathers. I gave this book 3 stars. This is the second book in his Fair Assassin trilogy. It follows assassin nuns in 14th century Brittany. It's set during a real historical time period, but with the magical twist that these nuns have powers from the god of death. Each book follows a different main character. So in this book our main character is called Sibella, and she has been tasked after spending some years at the nunnery to go back to her family home, as her father is one of the main conspirators against the Queen of Brittany. And so she is a spy in his household until she gets another assignment to rescue one of the prisoners in the dungeon. As such, road trip ensues and romance between her and the prisoner blossoms. I found this, it was a very quick, fun YA read, but actually it was much darker than I expected it to be. I was really surprised by some of the themes and topics that were explored within this book, such as abuse. Sibella's father is very abusive. He's a horrible, horrible man. And some of the other themes throughout the book were much darker than I would have traditionally thought of for a YA novel. But I guess they were very representative of the time and the way that people were brought up. I have the 3rd book to read, hopefully in October, but we will see. So I'm looking forward to continuing and finishing the series. Next we have Dark Shores. This is my other YA read by Danielle L. Jensen. It's set in a Roman inspired empire, and we're following a pirate called Terriana and a soldier for the empire called Marcus, and they're, I guess, on opposing sides. So Terriana is a pirate, so she's sort of free, she sails around on ships all the time trading with the empire, whereas Marcus is conscripted into the army for the said empire and is tasked with its expansion. So at the start of the book, Terriana is blackmailed or coerced into showing Marcus and the empire a new country where they could expand. The empire's, their aim is to expand, which she doesn't want to do, but all of her family and her crew's life is in danger. So we follow them as they traverse the seas to get to the Dark Shores. I found this a fun YA read. I don't think it's very memorable. I gave it 3 stars and potentially I would continue with the series. I heard that the second one follows different characters, and then in the 3rd book they all come together. So I will look into how the rest of the series progresses, but so far it was fun, but it's not going to stick with me for an extended period of time. Next we have The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters. So this is the book that we read for the Shelf Space Book Club, run by Jessie May, and I am Team Captain America, and I did not enjoy this book. I gave it 2 stars. We have decided that if you did not like this book, you're Captain America, and if you did, you're Team Iron Man, and I am definitely Captain America. I did not enjoy this at all. It started off, and I really liked the beginning chunk. I really enjoyed the prologue, which I think is a bit of a weird opinion, and then it just felt as though it started off on high and then went downhill as we got introduced to the main character. it follows our main character Tao and his desire to avenge his father's murder. So the whole book is Tao focused on revenge, and that's all it really is. Like, the whole thing is him training and his inner monologues about why he hates everyone and his stupid decisions. I think there is like some good themes that are expressed in the book which are related to caste systems and how you have nobles that are looking down upon the lower class, or the lessers, as Tao is considered a lesser, and so he's constantly fighting to try and achieve and become as high regarded as a noble, and even though he knows that that is an impossible task. And I did enjoy some of the training montages, it just felt as though there was too many. To me, Tao seemed like a very, well, I guess two-dimensional character, because he was so focused on one, revenge, and his other characteristic was lust towards his girlfriend Zuri. I wasn't a massive fan of the female representation in this novel. It felt as though all the characters were men. Like, every single one of them was a man, with the one exception being Zuri, and she just felt like an object for Tao's lust and as a means to show the reader the magic system. Like, she didn't have her own agency. I think it would have worked a lot better if we had her perspective in the book. Additionally, one of my main gripes is that it's called Rage of Dragons and there's literally no dragons in it. But I think I'm in the minority on this because so many people seem to love it, and I've heard that Evan Winters is an absolutely lovely guy and he's written this book for his family to give them a representation that they don't have in so many other fantasy books, that it's set in an African-inspired world following black main characters, and this is what he is wanting for his son to be able to see. So I feel really sad that I didn't like it, but I'm sorry I didn't like it. Moving on from that, to go to my 1 5-star of the month, which was Wrath by John Gwynne. I love this series, as I said many times in my August wrap-up about how much I love this series. So this is the 4th and final book, and I had to read this straight after finishing Ruin at the end of August, and I love it so much. It's an amazing multi-perspective series set in an epic fantasy realm where we're following giants and humans as they battle out for the land in this war between the gods. There's a prophecy, and the thing that really attracted me to this series, and the things that I really enjoyed, are the characters. That the first book is very intimidating when you're first introduced to the world, because there's so many characters all at once, but by the time you get to the 4th book you just love them all so much that you are so attached to all of them, and I just want to keep reading about these characters as they go about their lives. Yeah, it was a superb ending to the series. I am in awe of it, and it's definitely increased the bar for fantasy series. John Gwynne is not afraid to kill off his characters, and I can't wait to read more from him in the future. My other 2-star read was The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. I read this book as my blind date with a book pick for the video, which I will link up here. So I won't talk too much about it, but it follows our main character Maya, as he is the 4th son to the Emperor, and the Emperor and his 3 elder brothers are killed in an accident and he has to take the throne. This is a very slice of life political fantasy. It's not really in a session of fantasy world, it's all very centred on the court and Maya as he tries to come to grips with being the new emperor. I just wasn't a massive fan of the writing. The writing style was not for me. It was very dry. There's a 10-page glossary in this, and it felt as though every character had many different names and everything had a different name in their own language, and I just could not deal with it. Maybe this shows that I'm more of a plot-driven reader than a character one, but I don't know, because although we had our main character Maya, I could not gel with any of the side characters in this because I couldn't remember who they were because their names were so confusing. But if you like political fantasy, then this could be great for you, and also the cover is gorgeous. Okay, finally, to wrap us up, I read Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This was a recommendation from Jessie May, and I gave this 4 stars. I really liked this. This follows a mother and a son as they move to a new town, in America, and they are running away from their past. One day after school, our main character Chris, who's this 7-year-old boy, goes missing for 6 days in the forest. When he returns, he is unharmed, but he appears to have gained some abilities. He previously really struggled to read and write, and now he can do it really easily. He also has an imaginary friend now who he calls the good man, and he is tasked with building a treehouse. So he is intent on doing this, and you really feel for his mother because he's a 7-year-old boy that's running off into the woods to build a treehouse. I really liked the mother character in this. I think she's a great representation of a maternal figure in fiction. She is strong, she has her own character, she's not just portrayed as the mother, she's portrayed as having her own life. Yes, there were many aspects of this book that I really liked. I liked the themes that it explored and the twist at the end. My only gripe with it is that it felt slightly too long. I would say that from about page 500 it felt as though you're at the climax of the story, and that it should have only had maybe 100 pages left, but it had 200 pages left, and it felt as though the climax just went on a bit too long. Overall though, I gave it 4 stars, and I really enjoyed the journey that I had with this book. So those are the 6 books that I read in the month of September. Please let me know what your favourite book of the month was, and fingers crossed we all have a great reading month in October. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will talk to you in the comments. Bye!